Why is learning English so hard? Those irregular
Oops.
verbs, illogical spellings and rules? And what are these?
Oh my god.
It seems they follow a secret code that only a selected few can decipher. If you ever felt like mastering English is like trying to decode the Rosetta Stone, you're not alone. Hi, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to the WhyKnot Academy. Have you ever felt like that before? You're definitely not alone. I've covered idioms in many of my previous videos, but today let's dive into the world of time-related idioms. So fasten your seatbelts. Not literally, because that's an idiom too. And let's embark on this linguistic journey together. Once in a blue moon. So how often do blue moons happen? Well, once in a blue moon, of course. This idiom means something that happens very rarely. It's like finding a unicorn chilling in your backyard. Those special moments when the moon appears a bluish hue, just as rare as your friend Steve willingly doing the dishes. Getting Steve to do the dishes is like pulling teeth. It only happens once in a blue moon. Meeting my brother for coffee happens once in a blue moon, but it's always a blast when it does. I visit my hometown once in a blue moon, but when I do, it's a grand celebration. A stitch in time saves nine. Imagine you have a tiny hole in your favorite pair of jeans. If you fix it promptly, you only need one stitch. But if you ignore it, your jeans will look like they've been in a piranha pool. Ever face a tiny issue that you put off dealing with? Well, this idiom reminds us to address problems when they're small before they grow into something monstrous. Fix that small crack in the wall now. A stitch in time saves nine. Don't procrastinate on your assignments. Remember, a stitch in time saves nine.
We must take action now because a stitch in time saves nine.
Only time will tell. This is the ultimate cliffhanger. It means we can't predict the future. And sometimes we've got to buckle up for the suspense. When faced with uncertainty, like predicting whether the aliens prefer tacos or pizza, we say, only time will tell. We just need to wait and see. Is my hair going to turn gray from stress? Well, only time will tell. They've been talking about opening that bakery for ages. But in the end, only time will tell if it happens. Their ambitious venture is a bit of a mystery. Only time will tell if they succeed. A well of a time. Contrary to what we might think, this idiom doesn't mean having an enormous aquatic creature at your disposal. Imagine laughing so hard your sides ache and the night feels like a whirlwind of fun. When you're having an exceptionally good time, like a well-sized adventure of fun, you can use this idiom. We had a well of a time on all the rides at the amusement park. Dancing like nobody's watching. We had a well of a time at the music festival. Eating cotton candy and riding the roller coasters at the carnival. We had a well of a time. Better late than never. Procrastinators, this one's for you. It's the gentle nudge that says it's okay to start something late. The important thing is to start. We all need it at some point in our life. This idiom tells us that doing something late is better than never doing it at all. I started learning Spanish at 50. Better late than never, right? Even though I missed the start of the party, I thought it's better late than never, so I joined in. I forgot to send my friend a birthday card, but I decided to mail it anyway with a note that said, better late than never. Kill time. It's what we all do during those waiting in line, twiddling our thumbs moment. Whether you're reading magazines at the dentist's or watching puppy videos on the internet, you're just killing time. In a good way, of course. While you might not be a time assassin, you're undoubtedly familiar with the concept of killing time. I read a novel to kill time during the long layover at the airport. He often plays mobile games to kill time during his daily commute on the subway. They played board games together to kill time during the rainy weekend. Behind the times. Remember when we used to use encyclopedias for research instead of computer? Or Google instead of ChatGPT? Picture using a Walkman in the age of streaming music. You might be considered behind the times. This idiom means you're not up to date with the latest knowledge of current trends or information. With her love for vintage clothing, she's a bit behind the times, but her style is iconic. My uncle is still using a flip phone. He's a bit behind the times. Bob insisted on using a pager, makes him seem behind the times. Really? There's still people using these things? In a jiffy. This is when you need to change clothes faster than a superhero in a phone booth. It means doing something really quickly. When something happens in a jiffy, it's done quickly and won't take much time, as fast as the blink of an eye. She whipped up a delicious meal in a jiffy, and it was delicious. I'll fix that leaky faucet in a jiffy. It's just a minor issue. She was so efficient that she finished her work in a jiffy and had time to spare. Rome wasn't built in a day. Ever get frustrated because your plans aren't happening immediately? The granddaddy of all idioms. This one reminds us that great things take time. Just think about the Colosseum, the grandeur of Rome, and how long it took to build. So if your project isn't done yet, don't worry. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your masterpiece won't be either. Creating a successful business takes time. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't expect to master a new language in a week. Rome wasn't built in a day, after all. Aren't these idioms like adding sprinkles to a language cupcake? Before you attempt to use all these idioms in one sentence and find yourself lost, remember that idioms add flavors and depth to your language. They are the secret spices in the language cookbook that make a dish unforgettable. So go ahead and sprinkle these idioms into your daily chatter. Embrace those once-in-a-blue-moon moments. And remember, only time will tell how your dreams will unfold. Dance, laugh, and have a well of a time. And if you find yourself behind the times, don't worry, you catch up in a jiffy. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So here's to having better conversations, a richer vocabulary, and the joy of mastering idioms. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.